Hi, my name is Fred, and today I'm going to show you how to butterfly fillet a trout. One of the most important things you're going to need is a proper fillet knife. This is kind of a generic one that you can probably buy off of eBay or whatever, but what you're looking for is a nice sharp point, a narrow blade, and slightly flexible. This is a nice one that I picked up, I believe, at Walmart. It's foldable. I take it camping with me. In the fishing arena, you're going to find a knife like this is very common. Nice wooden handle, nice narrow blade. This one is one of my favorites. You need to match the size of the knife to the size of your fish. Larger the fish, the larger your blade needs to be. This particular one starts out small and then it adjusts. This one's made by Kershaw. You're also going to need to learn how to properly sharpen your knife, because a sharp knife is going to help you a great deal when you're doing your filleting. Okay, we're going to start with a nice rainbow trout. This technique can be done with rainbow trout, kokanee, char, salmon, pretty much any cold water fish. We're going to be filleting the fish, which is taking off the meat all in one piece off the fish. We're not going to take the head off. We're not going to take the guts out. This is a fresh caught fish we just got today on the lake. Basically, you're going to take your first cut right alongside the throat. The ribs kind of run at a slight angle, so you're just going to cut a slight angle to the backbone and then down to the throat. Flip the fish over. Again, slight angle to the backbone, to the throat, and this is one complete cut all the way around. For people that are right-handed, we can start here, right up at the very first part of your cut. Now the backbones of the fish run straight out, and that's what connects to this dorsal fin here. So you're going to cut just high of that. Start at your cut, which you did previously. You're going to cut just above that backbone, all the way to the tail. Now, if you're going to peel back the skin just a little bit, or the meat, you're going to cut along here, and you're going to feel some resistance with your knife. Those are called pin bones. You're going to cut through that first little layer of bones. Now, on a smaller fish, you don't really have to worry about these bones for people eating them. They fry up, you don't even notice them. As you're starting to cut along, now if you've noticed that you've cut just through the back, through those fins, or through those bones that run along the backbone, you can actually use the point of your knife and bring it back out and correct your cuts. But we're going to continue along. You've gotten to the ribs. You're going to cut up over the ribs. You're going to angle your knife just slightly towards the ribs to get all the meat off of those ribs. You're going to come down, basically take the meat right off of the bone by the tail here. You don't want to cut through the ribs. We're just going to cut over the ribs, nice and gentle. So you need a nice sharp knife. Now we've reached the belly cavity. We come through here and we finish, and there's your first half of your butterfly. We're going to flip the fish over and turn it. Now for the right-handed people like myself, this is the harder cut here. Now just practice. I know your first fish may end up looking like hamburger. Don't be discouraged. Just keep practicing. You want to cut just a little bit high of that fin, those backbones. Cut along here. You're going to feel those pin bones. Peel the meat back. Again, you're going to cut the pin bones. Peel the meat back. You're going to come right along the ribs. Like I said, this cut is the harder one, especially for the right-handed people. Cut those pin bones, cut over the ribs, put a little bit of tension on the meat. You can kind of put the point of your knife down, cut it over the ribs, peel the meat back, cut through the intestine there. Now towards the back, you're going to run into that rear fin. You can just take the tip of your knife and cut through the bone right there. Continue peeling back, peel your meat back. Gets easier towards the tail. Once you get to the tail, you can just set it up vertically and just do a small vertical cut there and take it off. If you notice, there's very little, if any, meat left on the fish. Tail's still there, the guts are still there, the head's still there. we removed all of the meat all in one piece. Now the nice thing about these butterfly fillets is, number one, of course you want to clean this up a little bit, but number one, if you're used to having 2 fillets, you got a little bit larger fish, you can actually just cut it down the center, make 2 normal fillets like you're used to. The nice thing about the butterfly is, of course, you got 1 piece of meat here. What you can do is make a stuffing, fill the belly cavity and some of the tail there, fold it over, bake it like this, put a little butter and a little salt and pepper, bake it, and you can serve it like that. The only thing that's left on the fillet that you need to worry about eating is this rear fin and the 2 front fins here. Once you cook it, these fins will pull right out. You can cut those out if you want to, but it makes a much nicer fillet or presentation like that. If you're going to smoke it, this makes a wonderful smoking thing. If you've got a much larger fish, you can feel along here those pin bones, and larger fish will be larger, and you do want to remove those. Depending on if you're going to be cooking it in a stove or if you're going to smoke it or something like that, will determine when you want to pull those pin bones out. If you're just going to smoke it, the meat's going to shrink. You can pull those out with a pair of tweezers or whatever. If you're going to stuff it, I would recommend taking them out while it's still raw. Like I said, with a smaller fish like this, you can season it, drop it right in the pan like this, fry it up, and then just remove those little things before you serve it. And they make some great eating, and that's how you butterfly fillet a trout.